I lost another 10 pounds in a week. So my
Mm,
total weight loss was 30 pounds.
yeah,
So I lost 4% body fat total. The inflammation is gone,
of
Chris.
course.
I can see my feet look like feet for real. It don't look like ankles, okay? Headaches, migraines, gone. My skin cleared up. Thank you so much to you and Steven and the team for creating those recipes. I can eat that food, what Steven, that recipe book, I can eat
Yeah.
that from here to 3 months from now and be fine. I literally said this to myself. Thank you, God, for sending Chris to me to
Mm.
allow this gateway. I get to heal my body now.
Come
I
on.
got to beat menopause. I'm
Hey,
44.
you ain't got to do that menopause thing.
Inside, it's like a construction site. Get that, heal that, inflammation go. Let's work in the brain. Let's clear that out. It's like a construction site up in that thing.
Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching Healthy Alternative. Today, we've got a special guest. Ebony is here with us, and we're going to be talking a little bit about her health and wellness journey, especially as it relates to her last challenge. She did the DR96 with us. I know you guys have been interested to hear some of the testimonials from the DR96. I've got a couple of them pending for you, so hopefully you guys enjoy these videos. Without further ado, Ebony, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Peace, everyone. Peace, Chris James, a healthy alternative, and the whole team. I just want to first thank you, Chris James, for just choosing you and deciding that you wanted to make a change within your life. And for such a time as this, how it has transformed. Literally, the whole world is watching you now. So
Mm,
I just first foremost, thank you, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate
I'm,
that. Thank you.
I'm forever grateful to just be in amazing energy and connected to awesome people. Like it literally feels like I'm talking to you as my brother. Like I'm just talking to you on the phone, you know. It feels like I've already known you all. I've been literally following you all since Chris. I've been following your lock journey. I'm all up in your locks, okay? With the amazing energy, sir. Literally, I
Yeah.
remember you had locks before you had locks. I remember when you had an afro
Uh-huh.
before even the office space that you were in. I remember when you were in your house, in your
Yeah.
bedroom, in your living room, wherever you were recording. Like
Mm,
I've been following the healthy alternative for like 8 or 9 years now,
that's
and
crazy.
I've heard this saying that say, if you keep coming to the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you'll get a haircut. And that's how I feel about a healthy alternative. With my experience with the DR96, I've tried several things, but that's how I feel about you all. I've hung around long enough and I just kept myself engaged. And of course, I tapped in with the emails, and you all have my phone number. And that's how I became to learn about the DR96. Literally, I got a text message
Mm. See, that's
and I
beautiful
said,
because you was in there.
immediately, I'm ready.
Yeah. That's we only recently added the text messages a couple years ago. We didn't always have it. And but I was like, man, using this is like a great tool because like it goes right to their phone and
Yes,
it's like, hey, what you up to? You just texting your friend back and forth like that. So I'm glad that you finally joined us. So
yes.
what do you remember how you found us originally and why you kind of
Actually, I'm not sure exactly why, because I wasn't looking. You all just popped up on my YouTube channel. So
okay.
I've been like searching on YouTube or Instagram and just looking into different healthier ways to be healthy overall, just to change the way I eat, to change what I drink, just overall health. And you all popped up somewhere in that shuffle with fasting and water fasting. That's how I became to learn about you with the whole water fasting. And I'm
Hmm.
like, water fasting. Hmm. And I clicked on your video, and that was 9 years ago, like I stated. and it was up from there. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember Justin's video, over
Mm.
200 pounds lost with. So I remember way back then, and I really coined and joined in with your brother John with his video, even prior to Steven. So with his
Mm.
video, what to me and him was that he was fasting while working out. And I'm
Mhm.
a big like advocate training, and I work out like heavily. Like I'm talking about I train like 5 or 6 days out the week. So that really like, oh, you could do this while fasting. However, I learned in a video, you want to kind of, he's an experienced faster with this. Don't
Yeah.
just jump head in. So I'm just grateful. Like I binge watch on Chris, like Healthy Alternative. Like I've
Yeah.
literally binge watch on you all's video. And I've been literally like the little sister or the big sister. I don't know how old you are, but following you all for over 9 years. Like I got your book.
Hey.
Like I got the book from Ruth. Here is she cure the
Christine.
causes. Live the life you want, not the one prescribed.
Mm.
And I sure do. Like when I say I've had this for years,
Yeah.
I just got orders just when I ordered my Rook after I subscribed to the DR96. I just ordered this book. But
Okay.
I had just for so long. And I said, you know what? It's been lost in the sauce. Let me pick this book up and start reading Metamorphosis. And the butterfly is everything.
Isn't it?
Transformation.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I said like literally our siblings for real. And I said, you know what? I want to be a coach one day. I want to
Mm.
be a healthy alternative coach one day. So I don't know what the steps are for that, but we could talk about that as well. Because
Yeah.
I just love all of y'all's energy. I love how you pick your coaches strategically, and all of your coaches have different backgrounds, something different to give. They're
Hmm.
all special in their own different way, you know,
Hmm.
and they all have so much value to what they give
Yeah.
to age communities. So I appreciate that.
My pleasure. Yeah, I literally just had an interview earlier today with another lady that was in the
Mm.
DR96, and she was just like, the coaches, they're all so unique and they all bring something special to the table. And I think that helps make sure that everybody who joins the challenge has someone, a coach, a leader that they can kind of resonate with. And so, yeah, that's definitely intentional. So now I'm excited to know about what your experience was like going into the DR96. So tell me before you had joined the DR96, you got the text message. Why was this the one? Why was this the challenge for you?
Great question. Great question. I This was the challenge for me because it was divine intervention. First of all, I want to start there. I literally, I'm a manifester, I'm a prayer person. I get up and I believe in law of attraction. I believe that we're all connected but not attached.
Hmm.
We're all connected but not attached. So I just believe that, and what you speak out of your mouth, it becomes,
Hmm.
and you're feeding your subconscious. So I literally was talking to my best friend in Chicago, talking to a couple of people, like, oh my God, girl, I got this inflammation in my foot. I stepped on something. I was cleaning up in my house this past November, and I was, you got a pile of stuff, and I was stepping over something, and something stuck in my foot, and I'm like, oh my
Mm.
gosh, that hurted, but it wasn't like blood gushing. However, days later, it still was kind of like paining me when I put on my shoe. So I had my daughter, when she came back, I had her take a picture of the bottom of my foot. And she said, oh my God, mama, your foot is like to the white meat, literally. So I
Ooh.
don't know what that was in my foot, but it was literally hurt to the white meat. And it caused inflammation. It caused so much pain. And my foot was literally puffed up, you know.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, it'll go back down once I elevate it. or once I eat more raw, because I've already been like vegan. I call myself the junk food vegan, so to
Uh-huh.
speak.
Little dirty vegan,
I feel
yeah.
like a wagon. Yeah. However, I knew what, like you said, Chris, about going to the toolbox and
Mm,
picking up what you need out of your toolbox. I
mm,
knew that I could go back to eating raw, or I knew that I could go back to fasting, or I remember when I did an 8-day water fast. Oh my God, how much clearer I was, how amazing I felt. I know when I did a 30-day juice fast back in 2014, how I lost 17 pounds in 30 days and how I looked and how amazing I felt. So I knew that I had all of these things in my back pocket in my toolbox. And I was saying to my friend, I have to do something different. You know what? I know I'm working out. I know that I teach. I'm a teacher, stand on my feet, and I teach 5-year-olds kindergarten. I also bake for a living. I'm a baker, so I sell my baked goods to the barber shops and beauty shops throughout the neighborhood and the malls. And I do all these things. I'm also a mother of 3.
mm.
So going to different games and so forth. And then I also work out 5 to 6 days a week, like I said. And I have to channel all of these things in one day. I drive 3 hours back and forth every single day throughout the week.
Easy.
I said, you know what? I'm doing all of this and I'm not taking care of me.
Mm,
I have to do something everybody else is taken care of except for me. I have to sit down. I have to hone in. And when I get like that, Chris, where there's so much going on, I just get to the point where it's like everything has to stop. I got to stop everything. I have to stop baking. I have to do just the necessary things that I need to do for my children just to get by, because now I have to hone in on me. So the inflammation started in my foot and it was hurting. It was to the point where I couldn't fit my shoes. I was
mm.
having so much brain fog. My migraine started back. I say, oh no, when I did that water fast, I didn't have migraines. When I was eating raw and all that, I didn't have this. So I need to get back to intermittent fasting or whatever. I knew I had to do something, Chris. And I knew this side, it had to be drastic.
Mm.
That's what I said. I have to get back to fasting. I literally was telling them that I have to get back to fasting. That was a week before I got the text message. I got that text message on Thursday, Chris, right before the prep on Sunday. For such a time as this, everything happens for a reason. Nothing is by coincidence.
Wow.
God sent that message on the Thursday before. It was at around 10 o'clock at night. No, I should have been in bed because I got to get up at 3:20. I said, get that. Boom, 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 boom. Immediately, credit card done. Immediately, because I knew right there, if I don't do something right here, right now, and subscribe to this DR96 right now, I didn't know how drastic it would be, Chris, that I needed to do. However, I knew it needed to be something through the roof that I've never done before.
Ooh.
And that's when I subscribed to you. I was trying to get the biggest package, but that was sold out. So
Yeah.
I got the next best thing, the appetite suppressant tea, and with the of course the DR96 with the sachets of the Restore.
Restore. Mm-hmm.
And I immediately, what do I need to do? Okay, I hurried up and got, that was Thursday. Friday, I immediately went to the store Friday, got my stuff for the prep, got the little bit of stuff that I needed, because I did have the basic stuff in my house. Like I say, I was already on this lifestyle. I got my elderberry, just little stuff like that, hibiscus and stuff. However, I needed a few more things for the prep. Went to go get that. Sunday, I started that prep. And we was ready to go. And it wasn't about the weight for me. It was about my heart. I needed emotional healing. I was just in a bad place altogether. It
Mm.
wasn't even about the weight for me, even though, of course, I did the whole weight thing. But Chris, I'm with you with the whole pounds thing and the weight stuff and the interest loss. That's like a cherry on top. That's not my focal point. My focal point is I feel amazing.
Mm.
Is the inflammation gone? Is the headaches gone? Because I'm tired of putting the band-aid on every 2 seconds, keep putting the band-aid on and taking it off. And now you're back to the same problem. We in
Yeah.
a whole hamster wheel. I'm tired of that.
Listen, you sound like you feel good. You got me drawn. Listen, you telling the story. I'm in here. Where we? So
Yeah.
you started the prep. You had all your tools. You was ready to go. You know what I love so far about your story? It was the decision. You made a decisive decision. You didn't even know all the rules and regulations of the game before you started playing. And, sometimes that's what we got to do. We got to shake things up. So,
Mm-hmm.
tell us about the experience doing the prep.
Oh, I even got my castor oil pack. Here you go. I got that too, Chris. I did not do it yet. I'm about to start implementing that now that
Okay.
it's done. But I just didn't want any extra detox on my system
Mm,
with the DR96, what it was already doing. I just let that thing do. Well, what
okay.
did you just ask me? I apologize.
No, you're good. I asked, what did your preparation look like? Like, what did you experience?
So um I got a few things that I knew like was more so whole food plant based. I did not follow the prep to the T like
Mm-hmm.
with it. However, I stayed with okay, we're doing 2 days, we're doing the 2 mad, the OMAD, so forth. I was following the protocol,
Okay.
but not the exact foods per se.
Yeah, that's
However,
fine.
I did print out everything that I needed to print out. And I'm about to put it in a clear sheet and a binder so I can have it literally forever. Thank you so much to you and Steven and the team for creating those recipes because I'm about to implement those and literally I'll tell you later, but I have a game plan now that I'm done with the DR96. I have a game plan for that, and I'm about to start implementing those. I'm a person, I'm a creature by habit. I can eat that food, what Steven, that recipe book, I can eat
Yeah.
that from here to 3 months from now and be fine.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's the reason we gave it to you. So you didn't have to follow those recipes exactly. They were really just ideas. Like, hey, here's kind of what we want you guys eating. Make it your own. So that's all good.
Yeah.
Um, so then, how did you what? Because you said you went into this, you didn't really know what the protocol was. Once you found out what the protocol was, how did that make you feel? Were you excited? Were you nervous? Like,
I you know what? I felt like it was literally divine for me. So I wasn't nervous. I was just ready for whatever is thrown at me,
mm,
literally. And when I say that, Chris, I was ready for whatever you had for me to do. And I was going to follow it to the T. It didn't matter. I was more so excited because it's like, oh my God, I get to heal my body
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh my God, he allowed a gateway. I literally said this to myself. Thank you, God, for sending Chris to me to
Mm,
allow this gateway for me to do something different. If you want something you've never gotten, you
mhm,
have to be willing to do something you've never done. And
mm,
I knew just from me, all of my muscle memory started coming back with the Justin videos, with the other dry fasting videos. I say, okay, wow. He said that this is the quickest way for healing more so.
mm,
Okay. So all of that started just coming back and popping up. Then I started going back and I watched Justin's video again as a refresher. Just like if
mhm,
you read a book again, you get, or if you watch a movie again, you get a different perspective on that thing, even
mhm,
though it's the same thing. However, back when I watched Justin's video at first, some 9 years ago, I was just binge watching on your videos. I learned a lot. However, this time it meant a lot more to me
mhm,
because I was in a different headspace because
mhm,
I am now about to start this DI96. So that really, really ignited my spirit. And I was just all in, Chris. I didn't care what it was. I've already been through the worst of the worst. You get what I'm
mhm,
saying? I've
mhm,
been married and I've went through domestic violence and I left my husband with 3 bags and 3 children and went to the shelter. I didn't know where I was going. Do you hear me? I just knew I
Mm.
couldn't be there no more. Are you
Mm.
hearing me? So
Yeah.
I've already experienced the bottom of the pit. Baby,
Mm.
it ain't nowhere to go but up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's nowhere to go but up. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
learned and I know my worth. And we now adding tax. You heard? So
Mm.
that's where I am as far as my headspace. I work out at Burn Boot Camp. That's one of the hardest gyms ever. It's literally boot camp style. Our bodies are machines. There are no machines. So we go in there with the intention. We know that this is arm day, but we don't know what arm day is. We know
Mm.
that this is leg day, but we don't know what it consists of. We know the protocol listed. However, we don't know what it consists of, how
Mm.
you're going to make this for us. And when you walk into the gym and you don't see no weights, you better watch out. Because this is you versus that floor. Okay? So I literally go into it, and that's how I just do life. I
Mm.
go into it all in. Whatever life throws at you, it's going to throw at you whether you stress or worry. And I don't worry or I don't stress. God
Mm.
put me here. He brought me to it so he could bring me through it. You hear me? He brought me to this point, Chris. So he's going to bring me through this.
Mm.
And I'm built for this. And that's my mindset. I am built for this DR96.
Mm.
I had my daughter. She loves art. She drew me a picture. You see,
Uh-huh.
DR96. That's my favorite shape, a heart. Okay? You
Yeah.
got this, mommy. I know you can do this. That part. So I just embodied myself. What I found out, Chris, is literally, I just said, okay, we about to do this. I made the decision to do it. Now, let's get the tools that can help me through it when those days get hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to have some hard times. It
Mm-hmm.
rains and then it's sunny. It's
Mm-hmm.
light and then it's dark. It's called, baby, opposites. It's okay. That's the law. That happens. You can't avoid that. It's the way the universe works.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say I just find ways to assist me along the journey because I don't know what to expect in it, and I know there are going to be some hard trying times, and I know we're going to be detoxing on all type of levels, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial, whatever. I got something to help me along the way. And
Yes.
that's literally what I do. I just create a barrier for me. You reach for the stars. If you fall, you will land on the moon. And literally, that's how I just embody my whole lifestyle. So with
Mm.
this prep and this DR96, I say, oh, I got this in the bag. Yes, it's hard, but getting fat is hard. Getting sick is hard. Going to get pills $200 is hard. Or
Mm.
you take this, or you take this zero in pill. What you say? So we here for it, baby. That was just sitting on the sideline, okay? You take this zero in, you
Mm.
zero in, or you take a pill that the doctor's gonna give you from the pharmacy when you
Right.
drive up the Walgreens. What they do with that? So you have to choose your heart.
Mm.
So I'd rather choose the heart of greatness. I'd rather
Mm.
choose the heart of literally rising and becoming the best version of me. I'd rather choose the heart of healing. If I heal me, everything feeds off of me with my children. Everything feeds off of me. So if I heal me and focus on me, and yes, I'm selfish with myself. I
Mm-hmm.
come first, not them children of mine. I
Mm-hmm.
come first. They even say that on the airplane. Put your own mask on first before you
Yep.
even put your newborn babies on.
Yep.
So what that's at? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I am selfish with me, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know a secret? I'm about to beat menopause. You knew that?
Come
I'm
on.
about to beat menopause. I'm
Hey.
44.
Hey, come on.
I'm not about to go through menopause because we're about to
Hey,
be fasting over here.
you ain't got to do that menopause thing. You ain't got to do it.
Not at all. And so
Mm-mm.
this is my cold pressed juice, Chris. Pineapple,
I-
orange, banana, apple, mango, passion fruit, and coconut water.
oh yeah, I see it. It look good to the
And,
mug too.
and I love wine. So what I do is I just put my stuff in a wine glass and drink it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Chris, I wasn't scared. I was excited on what's gonna come because I knew when I get through this, not if,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about how you word things. I get to heal
Mm-hmm.
my body. When I get through this, when I get through this,
Mm-hmm.
baby, on that other side of this, it's going to be miraculous.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's going to be. I might not know what I have to go through while I'm going through it or what I'm going to be experiencing. However, I do know the outcome. It
Yeah.
can't get no worse than what I'm going through.
Oh, you,
Hello.
you can only go up. You already
It
said
either
it.
work or it don't. It either work or it don't, Chris. That's the thing I like about natural healing stuff, like natural things. There's no side effects to natural stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It either works or it doesn't work. And then you can move to something else and try something else that works. However, there's no side effects to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about this.
Yeah. You nailed it. Now tell us about what you experienced because in result of doing well, first let me say this because some people probably like DR96, what is that? So first of all, the DR96 is a dry fasting protocol. We did 96 hours of dry fasting. We did a prep week, so we started with the prep week. That was 7 days. We always cap our prep weeks with a juice fast. Then we did 96 hours of dry, and then we did a entire day of water, and then we had a whole refeed protocol. And so we did that over the course of 2 weeks, including the prep week. It was 3 weeks. So that's the challenge. What did you experience?
I experienced throughout that time. Of course, I experienced the weight loss. So if that, I know that's what y'all want to hear first. Oh my God, how much did she lose? Let me just start with that. Okay, Chris, because I get that out the way. First of all, let me back up. I just did, I know we finished the 2 week cycle of DR96,
Hmm.
and then we went into the refeed. However, just because I'm extra, we gonna do another week.
Uh-huh.
We gonna do a DR96 again.
Third cycle. Yeah, I heard
So
about
guess
y'all.
what, Chris? Yeah. I did another cycle. And you know why I did the other cycle? I got 3 children. It's a power in three. I'm studying
Mm,
numbers. The power
okay.
of three. My first week of my DR96 was dedicated to my 16-year-old son. My second week was dedicated to my 10-year-old daughter. My third week is dedicated to my baby boy, Denali. He's 8.
Okay.
That's my three. That's my triangle. That's my 3.
Okay.
See, and I do this for other people. Even though the base root is doing it for me, I do it for other people as well. Because again, this is what I'm falling back on when it gets hard. When I felt like drinking some water yesterday at work, when I was about to fall asleep in that classroom, I just took a spritz bottle. A coworker made me a spritz bottle of water. She took my spring water, put it in the spritz bottle, and was spraying my face.
Mm.
So I would not drink.
Oh,
I sprayed my arms. I sprayed my face, literally, because I can't give up on my baby. If
wow.
your why don't make you cry, it's not strong enough, Chris.
Yeah.
And literally, that's all I thought. They were like, girl, you about to die in this school. Girl, oh my God, please get off this fast. This driver, that's crazy. I said, I'm not drinking a sip because I can't drop my baby boy. I can't
Mm,
drop him. I got
wow.
less than 12 hours. I have less than 12 hours to finish this fast. And that's when your breakthrough come, Chris, and people just give up.
Mm,
People just give up in that last hour, and your breakthrough is right there, and you just gave up. So when I say I lost, yesterday I weighed myself at the end of the night when I drank my first sip of spring water. I weighed myself. I lost another 10 pounds in a week yesterday. So
mm.
my total weight loss was 30 pounds for the
Yes.
whole fast. 30.
Yes.
Uh, that was my weight release. What Jazz was saying, we released the weight, we
Release.
shared the weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I released 6 inches. I wrote all this down as well. I've been keeping a journal. I
Okay.
lost 6 inches of my whole body, 6 inches
No.
off my whole body, and 3% less body fat.
Ooh, that body
Yeah,
fat hit hard.
yeah. Actually, 4%. I just took it yesterday. So 4%. It was 3% a week ago. So another percent of body fat. Um,
Wow.
yeah. So I lost 4% body fat total. So that's my whole, with the weight part. What else?
That's the 1% per week.
Yes, you could say that. Yeah, I didn't even think
Yeah.
of it that way. You're right.
Right.
Everything now. Here is the good stuff. Okay. Now
Okay,
that we
okay.
got past the weight loss and the scale and all that, here is the good stuff.
Of
The inflammation is gone, Chris.
course.
Absolutely. I could see my feet look like feet for real. It don't look like ankles. Okay.
You can see them ankles.
They look like real feet now. I was gonna get a pedicure. I'm like, okay, we cute. We cute. Um, Headaches, migraines, gone.
Mm,
Brain fog, gone. Focus, baby, narrow. When I say laser focus, Chris, we
mm,
are laser focused. Okay. Um. Oh, my skin cleared up. It cleared up like nobody's business. I had bags under my eyes,
hmm.
and it was so dark under my eyes. My skin is literally clearing up. Um, Chris, this is like a big one for me. So I didn't really have any high blood pressure, diabetes, gout. I didn't really have all that. And thank God for that. And I contribute that to the baseline of things that I've been maintaining, doing, such as I have my sea moss in the refrigerator.
Mm.
I drink my hibiscus water. Like literally, my children and I fix some hibiscus water. You have to incorporate this in your daily. So we take our elderberry. Baby, we stay ready so we don't want to have to get ready, Chris.
Uh-huh.
We
Yeah.
don't, everybody in their classroom getting sick. We don't do all that.
Hmm.
And if it comes to us, our bodies are built up with our immune systems. We already find that stuff out. It's already. So I have my ginger, like all of that. I've already been embodying and doing all of these things. So honestly, that's been like my landing, like my trampoline, so to speak, so I don't fall all the way through. That's why I 44 don't have high blood pressure and so forth, diabetes and all that stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Dealing with stuff that actually my friends are dealing with now at such a young
Hmm.
age.
Yeah.
Some of my friends at 44, 45, girl, premenopausal, girl, I'm getting hot flashes. I'm doing this. Dang, my blood pressure. I got to do this. Ebony, what to do with this? Because I've always been the one in the family that's giving advice about health, this, or, get the Celtic salt, the Celtic sea salt. That could actually lower your blood pressure. Don't go
Yeah.
salt free. Don't go fat free. Don't go sugar free. You need all that stuff. You wonder why your thyroid messed up when you don't have no salt in your body. Hello, somebody. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
duh. Just get the healthy stuff. If you get
Hmm.
the right stuff, Chris, it
Hmm.
works. Your body is in total alignment. Stop feeding your body with all this synthetic stuff. I told my friend, girl, you in the car line buying in McDonald's thing, buying Diet Coke. I'd rather for you to get the regular Coke instead of Diet. Yeah.
Yep.
And we don't even stop to think, Chris, about little stuff like, um, if it says sugar free, why is it still sweet?
Right.
I mean, I just don't get it. But baby, that's neither here nor there. Okay, that's just
Math
some
ain't
little drop
mathing.
in the bucket. It's just ridiculous. We are so conditioned. Like I'm so grateful that we have unlearned. I'm unlearning to relearn. My
Hmm.
8-year-old just told me with his smart aleck self. He's so smart. He's so smart. He said, "So, mom, because we say grand rising,
Hmm.
we don't say we had a bad day. Nothing is bad. It's all
Hmm.
the character building. How was your day? It's either better than amazing or it's character building. Because guess what? Even if it's not so good, it's still building your character. You're
Correct.
learning a lesson. What part can you play in this, sir? So that's why it's like he say, Mom, we just learned a whole new vocabulary. Actually, son, yes, you're right. That's exactly what we're doing. So I experienced, Chris, through this fast, not a salty, my skin, when it sweats, it's not salty. It don't taste salty. Um, I did, I've experienced my period in the second week of my fast. My period was not smelly like period blood
Mm-hmm.
smells. I know you probably heard all the things, so
No, no, give it,
yeah,
because there's a
because
lot of
this is
women listening.
yeah, because this is life. It's
Mm-hmm.
life. We go through these things. So it usually like smells like that period blood, and
Yeah.
I did not have that smell at all.
Mm-hmm.
I did not, to my surprise, Chris, I didn't even bleed as heavy.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even bleed as heavy.
Yep.
My and I didn't even bleed as long. Usually my periods will last like almost the whole week. I
Mm.
was like drying up like day 3, day 4, to be honest.
Wow.
And and guess what? Usually I'll go like, say for instance, I'll start drying up around day 4, typically before the fast. I'll have like weaning off, like going into dry, is red, then it go into brownish, drying, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like brown. I didn't have that. Day 3, I woke up on day 4, it was gone.
Gone.
No browning, like dwindling down. It wasn't doing that. It did not do that. I was like stoked, like literally. I say, what you say? And I was like so grateful. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I was experiencing a lot of like, I was just so sleepy and just so tired. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of energy at all. However, I noticed that a lot of my shoulder pain, because I work out a lot
Mm-hmm.
of that muscle tightness was gone.
Mm-hmm.
I did do some stretching during the fast. I found that I was a lot more limber. I was able to stretch deeper. I was able to go deeper in my stretches without it being,
Right.
okay, I was able to do that. I feel a
Right.
lot lighter. Every day I woke up and I look in the mirror and I say, Grand Rising, beautiful. I say Grand Rising to me first before I say it to anybody else, okay?
Of course.
And yes, I call myself beautiful because I am. Period. Like, if you don't think that you are amazing within yourself, if you don't just embody you as the king and queen you are, you expect all these other people to do it. That's
Right.
not good.
Right.
And then you get disappointed when they don't, or somebody don't validate you. No, I validate me first. And whoever I get with, wherever my husband is, baby, they'll get the benefits of me validating me. Okay, it starts with me.
Mm-hmm.
When I got on the plane, I don't know if you saw it. I went to Chicago for my spring break, which was like 2 weeks ago. That was like day 2 of week 2. I got
Okay.
on the plane and I say, I'm excited to see how this is going to go with this dry fast because I've never done this before. It was like, Chris, I kid you not. This is so funny. It was like I was taking a dry fasting trip, like legit for real. Like this whole time was like a trip
Yeah.
because it was like me experiencing the everyday things throughout a different mindset,
Mm-hmm.
body. The way I'm doing this now, I'm actually fasting. So it was like I was in a whole nother world,
Mm-hmm.
literally going on a field trip
Yeah.
through dry fasting. Literally.
Yeah.
That's how I coined this, and this is how I felt. So, Chris, I get on the plane, right? Now, mind you, I'm gonna tell you this before I tell you about the plane with the dry fasting, because then it'll all tie in together.
Okay.
So 35 years ago, at 9 years old, my mother took me to the family doctor, and I was losing my hearing. My hearing test, you know how you do the yearly hearing or whatever. You got
Mm-hmm.
to do the yearly physical school. And I was losing my hearing. They say it's becoming even worse from even last year when she was 8. you either need to get surgery, get tubes put in her ears, or she can wear hearing aids. So, that was back in 1989. Technology wasn't as advanced. So the hearing aids probably looked like a whole big earbud on my ear for real.
Yeah.
That's probably how they back then. So my mom, of course, was concerned about the whole aesthetics of it all. And she didn't want me to have to wear a hearing aid. She opted out for me to do the tubes.
Oops.
So I went to go get the surgery. And the tubes were supposed to, since I was still so young, the tubes was in this ear, like all the way in. I had to go to sleep. They had to put me to sleep. Chris, I got a shot in my butt. I don't know if anybody else got a shot in their butt before, but they told me, you about to get a shot in your butt. I say, I got to use the bathroom. This at 9 years old. I said, this is not going to work. I tried to see how I could escape out the window and everything through the hospital. Because you about to shoot me in my behind. That is like the worst. But anyway,
Yeah.
they had to tie me down, to say the least, okay? They put the tubes, I finally went to sleep. They put the tubes in both ears. They were supposed to pop out in 6 months. One tube popped out. This one, the left one.
Mm.
The other tube did not pop out. Guess
Wow.
I stayed in for 19 years.
Wow.
It stayed in my ear for 19 years. And I literally went to the doctor's appointment. I'm now in college. And I've gotten whoopings. I've gotten whoopings growing up, because this is at 9. Growing up, you know how we got them old school mamas, you hear what you want to hear. Da, 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 da. Come here, you doing that because you got attitude working. All that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Mom, I can hear you. That's why it's so essential to listen to our babies.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to babies. You'd be surprised. They tell you what they tell you. They tell them the truth, first of all, and they tell it in a way that they only can understand. However, it's up to us as mature adults to dive into that even more. What you
Right.
mean you can't hear? Let's go get that checked out instead of giving me a whooping for it, getting on
Mm-hmm.
punishment for it. And literally, it was so much trauma behind that. 19 years, I'm just sitting at the doctor's office at the same family doctor. She was like, wait a minute, I see a whole ball of wax right here. She got these of course, clinical tweezers, long tweezers. It kind of hurted too. She put them down in my ears, was able to pull out. It was like this big, and
Mm.
she literally peeling the wax back like an onion, like
Yeah.
layers of peeling the wax back to come out with a little bitty old tiny ball. Look, it was Tiffany blue. That was the tube. That was the thing that was put in my ear to help me hear better. That was
Ah.
stuck. So it was coming out during those 19 years, but it got stuck along the way. And of course, that did more damage, Chris,
Right.
than before I even got the things.
Okay.
So now I became 90% deaf in my right ear.
Oh.
Like I can hear you. I literally get on the plane. I have a pre-boarding. I have a pre-boarding to get on a plane because I'm hearing impaired.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually started learning sign language. I'm working on to become fluent in sign language. And I want to become a translator because I'm the best. I have the best of both worlds, literally. So, and I can empathize and sympathize with the deaf, community. So, nevertheless, got that taken out. However, that still affected my ears. She didn't do anything else with my ears. Well, with my whole health journey, just starting to learn different things, I learned that literally the fruits and vegetables are shaped like our organs, are shaped like. It's amazing. God is awesome. The universe is miraculous. Are you serious? The celery is for our bones. It's shaped just like our bones. You got to be kidding me. Ginger is really shaped like your stomach, like literally it looks just like that. Walnuts look just like the brain. It is excellent for the brain. Baby boo. When I learned that mushrooms, you
Mm-hmm.
turn that thing around and it literally looked like your ear.
Yeah.
Chris, I started eating all kind of mushrooms. And I didn't even like mushrooms at first, but I say, oh, we're going to learn to like these things today. And now that I know it's so many plethora of recipes with
So many.
mushrooms nowadays. Oh my goodness. And how healthy mushrooms are for you. So I just started literally getting everything mushroom based or whatever, and eating mushrooms. That has helped a little bit. However, with this DR96,
Mm.
when I got on a plane before the DR96, out my ears would be hurting. So my ears just was sensitive all my life.
Yeah.
Literally, my son said, "Mommy, hold your ears like this. Hold it like this, mommy, to take the pressure."
Mm.
It wasn't bad as the plane was going up. But when that plane started coming down, that's
Mm.
when it really pained my ears to the point where I went through years and years of crying, like boohoo and crying. And when I got off the plane for days, I was not able to hear. It sounded like
Mm.
a tunnel. It sounded like when everybody talked, I was in a tunnel, and my ears never popped. It
Ah.
popped like after 5 days. So it
Oof.
literally was like a tunnel, literally, to hear people talk. And it was to the point where it was such trauma, because I would, instead of saying, because every time I say, "What did you say? What did you say?" Nothing, Ebony, nothing, nothing. Just get on my nerve. Like, people will really
Mm.
get upset with me
Yeah.
when I asked them what did they say, or I honestly did not hear you. Like, it was so many times I would cry, begging people, pleading people, like, I honestly didn't hear what you said. And when I got on this plane with the DR96, this is 35 years, day 2 of week 2. I'm telling you, I wrote everything down. I woke up to the lady sitting next to me said, "It's time to go." The doors, the doors are open, Chris. The doors are open. Do you
You were
want to get
knocked
off the
out.
plane or not? Because we're about to go. We can leave you
Oh,
on here. Chris, I
that's
didn't even
crazy.
know. Did you hear what I said? I wake up to the pain as the plane is landing.
Mm.
Day 2, week 2.
Mm.
Day 2, week 2. I didn't even know the plane landed.
Ah,
I didn't even know the plane landed. That's 35 years.
that is
I say, well,
transformational.
I be doggone. This all I had to do was drive fast. And I'm not gonna lie, Chris. I know you. I watched you. I watched, throughout the years. I binge watched on the Healthy Alternative so many times. I've watched Steven's whole transformation when he did it 2 times, 3 times. Baby, I watched all of it. Your sister Queen Vonnie coming off cigarettes, baby. I watched all of it. PCOS, baby. I watched all of it. You hear
Yep.
I'm giving you receipts, right?
Yep. Yep.
I watched it all. Do you hear me? Michael, when he passed away, when you were
Mm.
on there crying. Chris, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Thank you for just caring enough. Ashe. Thank you for caring enough. Um, I've been just watching y'all and watching the lady that did it when how fast and changed her whole with the cancer. The lady that has stage 4 cancer didn't know what she was like. Literally, the rebirthing. That's one of my favorite videos. The lady that said fasting rebirthed her. Her
Mm.
husband or somebody was in jail and
Yep.
he came out. I remember all that. Oh my gosh. And definitely Jazz video when she did her lost 100 pounds 5 months. Kept going, kept going. Literally, I was sitting there through it all. And I believe y'all, baby, but it's a whole nother dimension when
Uh,
you experience it for yourself. I believe y'all. And I know that you all are 100% down to earth and 1,000% real. However, because I don't say
mm.
but, because that excludes everything you said before. However, when I experienced that for myself, Chris, and
Mm.
I allowed myself to experience that, I was just in tears of just gratitude
Yeah.
to be able to accept that gift.
Mm.
I accept this gift of healing. Chris, I promise you, to experience. You know how they had in workout videos, and you be like, "Girl, she just got a surgery. She ain't lose all that weight. Stop playing.
Right.
You just come on here just to sell the or do the. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
literally, some people literally do that to make money.
Mm-hmm.
However, to experience it for yourself is a whole nother beast. To not have to go get the surgery for my ear, because literally I was looking for that, and I was gonna go and save up the money to have that happen. But baby, I ain't have to spend nothing. Okay. I didn't have to even do nothing. And on that plane, Chris, during my tears, because I couldn't believe it, I sat there. The flight attendant said, "Ma'am, are you ready to go?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I'm coming. I'm coming. Like, give me a second." Like, literally, I was in awe. I was just blown away. Literally in that moment, Chris, I could not believe it.
Mm.
However, when I got up and I was walking down the aisleway, I coined the saying. I coined this saying. Within my nothingness, everything is happening.
Mm.
Within nothingness, everything is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because within this nothingness of nothing going down my system, of my organs not literally at complete rest,
Mm-hmm.
literally within nothingness, nothing is in my stomach. Nothing is, I'm not even no water. Nothing is happening right now. Within this nothingness of me doing nothing. We always worry about what we need to do, how we need to fix this, how we need to do this, how we need to do that. I just let my body rest and heal. The body
Mm.
is so much smarter than we give it credit for.
Yes.
And within this nothingness, Chris, inside it's like a construction site.
Right.
Heal this, get that, heal that, inflammation gone. Let's go up in the brain. Let's clear that out. Boom, 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 boom. It's like a construction site up in that thing. You
Yeah.
hear me? Everything is happening within the nothingness.
Mm.
I coined that. I
That's
coined that
yours.
saying. And
Mm.
that's literally when I thought of that. Because I was like, I didn't do anything. I'm sitting here looking for surgeons, and I didn't do anything for my ear to heal itself. I just
Mm.
stopped eating. I just stopped eating. I just stopped drinking. I just allowed my body to do what it needs to do what it's designed to do. Literally heal itself. And look at this, everything
Mm.
happening. Chris, that is one of my big ones that literally, like, everything else was amazing. That was like
Mm.
a cherry top. But baby, this was the base of it. What I've been dealing with for 35 years.
Yeah.
My week 2, Chris, the emotional stuff came. Oh my God.
Mm.
And the emotional stuff toward the end of week 2, and especially last week, week 3. Not last week, just yesterday. Like literally this week. Because I told you I was extra with it. So I added a third week. This
Mm-hmm.
week was very emotional. So it's like the body is like, okay, we healing this, healing that. And I know you said that detoxing, it comes out in all kind of ways. My urine, it was it's so crazy. So the first time that when I rise in the AM, right? And you go to the bathroom, typically that's what everybody does initially. They go to the bathroom. The urine was so yellow, that was all them toxins.
Mm-hmm.
My first urine, like not after 24 hours in the first week. The second day and the third day, especially, my urine was almost dark, like dark
Mm.
yellowish brown. It's like, if you know what I'm saying. And
Yep. Yep.
then it's like it cleared up. It started clearing up as you urine throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why am I urinating? That was another thing I experienced. All this urination is coming out. I say, okay, so I'm gonna trust the process. Chris said that's why it's so important to watch these videos. And people don't realize how even throughout the DR96, Chris, your first video, oh, it was 500 plus on there.
Yeah.
I watched everything. I observed everything. Your first video was 500 plus, and I'm getting to a point here. Your second video was about 3. Your third one, you get what I'm saying? It started dwindling down the numbers, and it ended up being like 70 something, 100 and something, or whatever. It is so imperative to watch those videos because you're giving us, putting something in our tool belt, and you're feeding us exactly what we need. Like, you all were very strategic throughout this whole process. So I want to give my hat off to you all. You all were very, I mean, down from the prep all the way to the refeed, to the end, and even after, to set us up with what's next. I even watched Chris' video. I even watched John video. I was on his, I came on as a guest to speak on his video, John's last video as well.
Okay.
So you need to watch that. But I was on there, for a snippet. He said if anybody wanted to share, and of course I wanted to share as a little taste, because I said I'm about to be on here with you today. So I am just forever grateful, but it is so imperative, you all, to watch those videos, especially while you're in the challenge. And I stayed glued to you all. Whenever I got discouraged, whenever somebody said something in my family that I didn't really particularly care for, I say, let me turn on the video. Let me turn on the video. Let me look at my sign. I carry this around me everywhere, in my purse, in my book bag. Let me watch Chris James. Let me get on the pack call. I'm on the pack. So let me get on the pack call. Thank God this is every day at 3:00. Thank God this is on Tuesdays at 8:00. On Sundays at 6:30. Like, literally, I've just embodied myself. And that would be the food that nourished me.
Right.
Back. Like, okay, now we back on track. Thank you, my friends. Like, literally, this is a mental thing, Chris. This is a mental thing. It's really a mental thing. So that's what I experienced. But the emotional side, Chris, in my week 3, I want to do another 4 and 5. I honestly want to keep on going. You know why? We're about to start testing. We're about to start our testing in school with M class, like the state test, the big test that's coming up. And my energy, like, I didn't realize how much energy it took to talk, Chris.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much energy it took. Now, mind you, I am a teacher. I teach the class. I'm a teacher's assistant. I still have to help all of these students. I serve as 5 kindergarten classes. That's 8 students every single day. So I literally still have to talk to these babies, stand up in front of class, teach the subjects. I didn't realize how much energy it took to do that. I got awarded week 3. So this was Wednesday, week 3, day 3. I took a PTO day, and I'm so happy that I did that. I took a PTO day because I had the days. I did that because I needed to take care of some extra business. However, I did it with my fasting in mind because I knew I was on my DR96. And I did Monday and Tuesday. I say, doing Wednesday and Thursday too with that school, baby. We need to take a little day and break this thing up.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I did that. However, on that Wednesday, Chris, at my staff meeting, I got awarded. And this is a vote throughout the whole school.
Wow.
With all the teachers and the staff. I got awarded Support Staff of the Month, Employee of the Month. I got awarded and called out in the staff meeting, Employee of the Month, Support Staff. Really? In my absence, Chris. Everybody calling me, this, that, and third. I didn't answer because I'm on my dry fast. So I was very careful about my energies, about who can get close to me. The next day when I walked in, they presented me with my award.
Wow.
and a box of all these chocolates that I
Of
don't eat.
course.
Okay.
Of course.
A box of all these. I'm like, okay, I'll just share them and I'm gonna take them Monday and share them again to them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I get a half day. I could leave half day if I want. And I could leave early another day or something, or I could take an hour lunch or whatever. So, and then you get your picture posted up in the front of the school on a
Mm,
wall.
that's nice.
Chris, I at that job for 3 years. Here go that number three again. This is my third year. And this happened. I got awarded on the third dry fast week, the third day. The
Right.
third day, Chris. This is what I'm talking about when I say within nothingness, everything is happening. It was meant for me not to be there. Because did I know I was getting an award? No.
Mm.
I actually voted, but I didn't vote for me. I voted for somebody else. I
Mm.
voted for somebody else to get it. And look at God. It was meant. It was meant. Whatever's meant for you, Chris, and this is what I learned. And that's why I don't worry or stress about nothing. Because
Mm.
if it's meant for me, it will be. Period. Can't nothing, can't nothing get in the way of that energy if something is meant for you. And I
Mm.
don't believe in the word luck. That one, you lucky. You not lucky. That was meant for happening. That was meant for you to get that. That was meant for that to happen. Even when it comes to transitioning, I don't say death. We transition.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it comes to stuff not working out in relationships, even when it comes to this good happening, that's just the life cycle, baby. That's the life cycle. So
Mm.
this was meant for me to get that award that day. Everybody's cheering for me in my absence. That felt amazing.
Yeah.
Because all my colleagues was like, oh my God, Miss E. They call me Miss E. Oh my God, Miss E. You wasn't even there to receive it. I wish you were there. It wasn't meant for me to be there.
Yeah.
It was meant for you all to feel my presence and for me without me being there. So that's another thing. But I was going to say the emotional thing, Chris, that I experienced Monday and Tuesday was very, very character building. I cried. I cried. I had to remove myself from the classroom, go to the
Mm.
bathroom. On my lunch break, I went to my car and cried.
Yeah.
Feelings were just coming up. I say,
Yeah.
oh, this is the emotional side of the
There it
healing.
is.
This is the emotional side what Kristen was talking about, especially John. He really hones in on
Yeah.
that part, the emotional. Like his almost all his videos are about that.
Mm.
And I say this is what they were talking about with the emotional detox. I'm just going to allow myself to feel this. I cried about the breaking the soul ties with certain family
Mm.
members, like very close, such as my mom, my aunt, my mother's sister. I cried about breaking the soul tie with my children's father, which is my
Mm.
ex-husband, whom I left, and with the whole domestic violence thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just cried about like my 16-year-old son. He's with me now. He's on a spring break. However, he wanted to go live with him.
Mm-hmm.
Just cried about all of that. It just started coming up. Just how I have to still, because my children are so young, I still have to communicate with him. I
Mm-hmm.
still have to deal with him, in certain respects. I just cried about all of that. And I just allowed myself to get it out and cry it out. And I thought, because when I first left him, I started doing yoga. I started really, really honing in. I took my children and we all went to therapy. I just really started my healing journey, okay, of learning myself, of learning men, because growing up, I just didn't have a good relationship with men. I just did not have a good relationship with men. When my dad left my mom, he left us too. And I was at the tender age of, okay, at 7 years of age, I was raped by my grandmother's husband for 2 years. 2 years. And that was at the tender age. I'm writing a book. I'm in the process of writing my book. That was at the tender age of 7. So, and men did this to me. You get what I'm saying? And it was a wonder why I always gravitated as I was getting older, like 15, 16, 17. I wanted an older man. I always been into dating older men. And it's funny how we use these sayings, Chris, and we say, oh, I got a sugar mama, or that's my sugar daddy. That literally was my sugar daddy. I was looking for a daddy in this older man that I was lacking as a girl. And it took me, I didn't know this then, Chris. It took me to actually leave my husband. I just learned all this within the course of my transformation, my metamorphosis. I learned this within the 5 years of my metamorphosis, literally.
Yeah.
Why I always loved or wanted an older man, because he literally was my sugar daddy. You think about it. A daddy to a daughter, oh my God, wrapped around your what finger. Literally, I could get anything I want from him. So I just had an older man. He just gave me the benefits of the other side with sex and whatever else. But he still gave me what I wanted, when I wanted it. I love yous, all of that. You get what I'm saying? Because that's what a daughter does with her daddy. She can get anything with her daddy. Typically, with her mama, it's a, we gonna shut this down. I'm setting boundaries. It's a no. But with her, well, daddy, mama say I can't have this, so can I have the chocolate anyway?
Right.
Let's sneak it. Let's sneak it. You get what I'm saying? Just little stuff like that. That's how like we go through life. And I didn't realize that that's what I was searching for with wanting to date older men, was a daddy type of figure, because that's what I was lacking.
It makes
That's
sense.
what I was lacking, Chris. And and with my husband, literally, with my ex-husband, I literally didn't realize until I left him, until I started my healing journey, that like, why am I constantly going? I know this whole term narcissist is like thrown everywhere. However, no, we're going there, okay? We're going there because I'm using it in the right in the right kind of content, if you will, okay? Um, I literally didn't realize why I was being being led to these type of people. And I watched this video and this podcast. I watch a lot of like motivational videos and podcasts. I watched this and I didn't realize. I said, you know what? And the man on the video was saying, you attract who you are. Let me say that again for the people in the back, honey. You attract who you are. I said, what you say, Chris?
That's rough.
This is who I am. Literally, this was who I am. So this is who I attract. Also, one deeper. It's like, and this is why I did the DR96 too, Chris. I need to break generational curses. It stops with me, Chris. I need to break it. We ain't going down this road. We about to derail this thing. You hear me? This is about to be derailed. It stops here. My grandma used to say, the buck stops here. And that's the way I feel. Chris, I cannot allow my children to continue to grow up in this cycle of foolishness. I just cannot do it, and I will not. So that's why I'm willing to waddle in the mud so they can walk on marble. I'm willing to take all that so they can walk on marble. You hear me? They won't know what it is to go through what a lot of stuff that I've been through because I'm not allowing that.
Mm-hmm.
I really care about the way what they watch on television, live vision. People don't even realize that television, what that is telling your vision a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about it, guys. Think about it. Live vision. Chris, I was almost about to curse. You cannot, Chris. This stuff is right in your
Right
face.
in your
Like,
face.
they are literally, they playing us right
Yep.
in our face.
Yep.
We wide asleep.
Mm-hmm.
We
And
ain't wide awoke.
and what do you watch on the television? Programming.
Go figure. And
Programming.
that's why they have conditioned programming our minds. I love when stuff not it's a not observed by the FDA. Good. The Food and Drug Administration.
Right.
First of all, it's an administration. I'm good. The Food and Drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, that's exactly what it is. You're not even eating food anymore. It's food-like substances, whatever
Right.
it is, that they feel like they want to put together and make some hot flaming macaroni and cheese that's 75 ingredients, and you say, "Ooh, let me get this because I like flaming hots." But Chris, back to the spirituality thing. I love my mother to life. However, her mother passed away when she was 8 years old. It's a lot of stuff. Like, we're reaping a lot and we need to heal, not just from us, Chris, but from our ancestors. Like, not our mothers, not even our grandparents, not even their parents. I'm talking about from slavery. Baby, it's some gut run stuff that needs to be brought up, literally, that we need to also heal from back in slavery times. You
Mm.
get what I'm saying? And we don't realize the depthness of how this people are literally just angry, and they don't even realize why or how. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that is, I call it you being in your personal prison.
Mm.
I'm breaking out of that. I'm not in my personal prison anymore, Chris. I broke out. I let myself release. We are released out of my personal prison. I can't anymore. But my mother, my auntie, them, they don't know better. You only operate out of your own level of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
You operate out of your own level. Everyone operates out of their own level of consciousness, Chris. So if you don't know better, you can't do better. If your elevator don't go to 3, baby, you're gonna stay at 1 where you are. You just don't have a choice but to. Like, you can't go way up there because your consciousness can't take you there. Literally, it won't allow you to be there. So that's why, with being and raised by my primary love language, that's why I was attracted to somebody like my husband, my ex-husband,
Yeah.
because this is what I know. So I went to what I knew. I went to the behavior of a narcissist because this is what I knew. This
Mm.
is how I was brought up. You're ugly. You fat. I grew up with all that all my life. You're fat. You're not that cute. Every time somebody will compliment, "Oh, your daughter's so pretty," don't tell her all that. It go in her head.
Mm.
That cute. You fat. You are. I'm always made out to be. I was never good enough. I've
Yeah.
always been made out to be too big for this. Oh, could I have this dress? Girl, now you know your butt too big for that. Your fat self can't fit in that. Like, that's the kind of talking to. It was never, "You're beautiful. I love you," affirming you, talking into you. You get what I'm saying? It was never
Yeah.
that. It
Yeah.
was never building yourself up. However, Chris, what did I say? People operate out their own level of consciousness. How are they going to know how to do that? If no one ever told you that I love you, Chris, how would
Mm.
you know how to love? If nobody ever told you that, if you've never heard that, how would you know how to love? If you never was taught 2 + 2 is 4, you would argue that it's 3 or 5. Like, you would not know if you wasn't taught that. So that's what I'm in the business of doing, is teaching, starting with my household first, and then everybody else. We have to teach. And it really does take a village, Chris. It really, really, really takes a village to raise not just children, to raise adults too.
Adults. Yep, there you go.
It really does. Because if you talk to some adults, they are 65-year-olds, 7-year-olds,
Yes,
Chris.
they are. Yep.
Literally 65-year-olds, 7-year-olds. And I'm like, wow, because the mentality is not there. The emotional intelligence is not intact. So I literally, all of that stuff was coming up just Monday. And I'm like, where is this coming from? I was thinking about, man, I shouldn't have left him.
Mm,
I see why some women stay. I see why some women stay, Chris. I
mm.
see why some women stay in that deformity, in domestic violence, because it's hard. It's hard out here as a single mother with 3 children. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yes, you might get the child support. You might get this from him. Yes, you might get that from him. However, it's still hard doing it all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Some breaks down on my car. I don't have a man to call. I got to figure that out. I got to take out my own garbage. Just little stuff like that. People don't realize you miss that. And I don't miss him. I just miss that. You get what I'm saying?
But yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So that all was coming up with the whole emotion thing, real heavy. And I just thought back to John's video.
Mm,
I thought back to his video when he said, Ebony, look at it dead in the eye and say, yes, this is hurting me at this moment. This is hard at this moment. However, I embrace all of these. I embrace all of the feelings. And like I said, you have to feel in order to heal.
yes.
You have to feel in order to heal. So I embrace all of the feelings that's coming with this because I know that this is being released. That this is being released. So I jotted all of that down and I burned it. I had a burning ceremony. I jotted all of my emotions down that I was feeling in that moment on Monday and I burned it. And I discarded and I did away with all of that.
Mm,
And yes, I had to heal myself too, Chris, because going into my marriage, people could say, yeah, okay, I've suffered with domestic violence. But going into my marriage, Chris, I also know where I did not come perfectly packaged up either. I
mm,
was broken in a whole lot of ways as well. So
mm.
I'm not just pointing all at my children's father. It was
Right.
me as well. Part did you play in this?
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't my fault to get hit, choked, and all that. However, what fault did I play in this? I was also talking to him in a derogatory, messed up way too. I didn't have a good relationship as a father, as a man in front of my face. I didn't know what a good marriage looked like either.
Mm-hmm.
So I also had to heal and apologize and get myself together as well throughout my process. You get what I'm saying?
Oh
And
yeah.
I had to brush some stuff off of me, and I had to heal my mother, even though nobody said they're sorry, even though nobody apologized. I still had to do that for me. I had to release and heal and apologize and accept their apologies within the universe. And
Mm-hmm.
everything comes full circle. But I had to do that for, and it's so funny, Chris. His mother got got deadly, like literally sick. His mother was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Mm.
And it was a year after I left him. And she had 5 children. So they were trying to scramble on who's going to take care of her. They were in Chicago. Scramble on who's going to take care of her. Now she's bedridden, of course. She's not going. She don't want to go back and forth to the hospital. I grew up in a sanctified and saved church where we couldn't wear pants. We couldn't wear. It was a sin to do everything, even get braids. Okay,
Yeah.
like yeah, I grew up in that type of church. So, which now I know that it's a cult. You heard me, because I know better and I'm wide awake for real. I ain't walking around here wide asleep, okay? Yeah. So we grew up in that type of church. However, she was still serving in that church. And she was bedridden. Her daughters were like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I got to work. I got children to take care of. Children were flying in, helping here and there. They were like, we don't know what to do. We're at our wits' end. I said, I'll drive, because I was working. However, I was working my own business. I bake, like I told you, I bake as well. So I said I could take my KitchenAid, put it in my car with my three children, and we could drive to Chicago.
Wow.
And I could bake there in Chicago. I could bake anywhere, okay? So
Mm.
I said, would you all allow me? Now I'm a year after being separated from him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I say, I'll drive to Chicago and give her 2 weeks. I'll give you all 2 weeks so you all can find a stay-at-home nurse or whatever that can take care of her until they try to figure that out, okay?
Right, right, right.
Somebody needs to be with her around the clock at this moment. And I say, I'll give you 2 weeks so you all can do that. And I was going to Chicago anyway that summer. However, I just bumped it up 2 weeks prior to go and help her out. And she said, well, Ebony, mom wants to talk to you. So this is his older sister. Mom wants to talk to you. I said, sure. And I call her my Etherly. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, have you ever taken care of older people before, or somebody that was sick, or, you know, in this type of hospice care? I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And she said, okay, I trust you to come help me out. She was very secretive, a very secretive, personal, type of woman. And
Mm-hmm.
she didn't like, very private. So when I got there, I was just taking care of her. I gave her whatever she wanted, because at this point they said that it wasn't nothing else they could do. She was literally throwing up bowel both ways. She was literally throwing up bowel both ways. I would brush her teeth, but I mean, I would just do that at this time just to keep her comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I see why family members are not called to help their other family members in this type of situations, because her daughters and so forth were getting upset because I cooked all this food and she's not eating it, but she just said she wanted some auto meal, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just to make her comfortable. Um, and I'm telling you this story leading up to something as well, Chris. You remember I was in Chicago 2 weeks ago, okay? So that was my second week. I helped her out. The children were there, and everybody was like, oh my God, the children shouldn't be there. The children shouldn't be in the other room. However, my children are well behaved, and they were also helping. Stop playing. And honestly, that's what kept her here longer, to see her grandchildren. To
Mm.
see her grandchildren brought her joy. And they were actually helping me, lift her up, take her to the bathroom, wash her up. I had to change her bed linen and all that. You get what I'm saying? So they were helping me, honestly. My daughter's born day is July 22nd. And my daughter and my Etherly sat in her bed, and I got them some almond milk ice cream. And they sat there and ate. She only did a couple of teaspoons, but Essence ate all of it. But she just ate that with her just to share on her born day. Um, the 26th of July, she transitioned.
Mm.
And she wanted to do it at home. She didn't want any medication because, the sanctified people, they feel like they don't even want any medication. They don't want none of all this stuff. They just want, if God takes them, or God gonna leave them there. Their job is not done. And that's literally what she said. So the 26th, I actually, it was exactly that Friday. So it was on that Friday, she, that Friday, I left. Her children were coming on in because the hospice care people said family needs to come on in, like literally just come in, and it's gonna happen any minute now, whatever, because the stage 4 has progressed to the where they couldn't do anything with her. I left. That was my end of my 2 weeks that Friday. She looked at me and she said, Ebony, don't leave me. Um, every time and every day that I left to go, because I was staying at a cousin's house that was like 5 minutes away. Every day that I left to go over there, um, she said, when I came in, she said, I'm still here, Ebony.
Mm.
Every She said, I'm still here. I'm still here. And it's so crazy, Chris, because I was actually staying in the house with her. But the first week that I was there, she actually coded and she needed to be rushed into the hospital. And I got scared. I got scared. And our minds, the way we think, when she came back home, I had a group chat going on with all 5 of the children. When she came back home, Chris, I literally told the 5 children, I said, I'm scared. And they said, why, Ebony? We don't think that you're going to do anything with our mom. Because I wasn't with my ex-husband anymore. And I just know how he thinks, literally. You get what I'm saying? And I
Mm.
say, I'm scared. I don't want that last time to be on my watch. You get what I'm saying? Like, I've never dealt with anything that serious before. That was literally life changing for me. And they said, we know what's going on with her, Ebony. It's okay. So everything had happened. I said, my see you laters, and I'll be back. Nevertheless, my children's father called me at 3:50 that over the weekend. I think it was a Sunday. And he said, I just lost my best friend. I left my cousin's house, left my children. They were still asleep. And went on over there, was there when the coroner and all them, everybody came and got her. She passed away at 3:20. And that's why I wake up at 3:20 every a.m. Every day since the year 2020, 2021, I've been rising and I have my alarm set at 3:20 a.m. So I do a lot of things on the 20 within the hour. And leading up with this dry fast, I try to make things very like correlate things, because I'm living, this is my life. So I want it to be the best experience yet. So I literally correlate things to things. And when I say God is amazing, things just come to me. Like Chris, when I say my mental is amazing, like laser focus, things just come to me and come to me. And when I was in Chicago, on the second day, I said, you know what? On the third day, I say, I have to go to her address. I have to go to her house on day 4, the day that I break this fast. And I got to be there on the 20th. So I got to be there at 3:20 to break this fast in front of her house. And I sat in front of her house with my friend. And I took my first sip of water in front of her house. That meant so much to me because the last thing I gave her, I filled up 3 bottles. They go to number 3 again, Chris. I filled up 3 bottles of water. That was the last thing I saw her take a sip of, was a sip of water.
Mm.
So when you said, don't gulp your water when you're breaking your dry fast, and when you said to sip, immediately I thought about my ex-colleague. Immediately. And I wanted to coin that and make that a special moment to break my dry fast within that second week, because I literally took care of her for 2 weeks, and she didn't want anybody else to come in there and take care of her. And the mind is the last thing to go, Chris. The body is breaking down. The mind, before someone transitions, that's the last thing to go. And once you accept in your mental that it's time to go, everything else will follow. And I believe that after I left that Friday, she didn't want anybody else coming in that Monday.
Yeah.
And she literally made her transition that Sunday. So I just wanted to dedicate my last 2 weeks of a dry fast to my Etherly with taking my sip of water, the last thing I gave to her.
That is a beautiful complete circle.
Yeah.
Uh, I appreciate you sharing such an amazing roller coaster of a story and experience, and so many incredible things have happened to you over this past few weeks is incredible. And I think that you're going to continue to utilize these tools and, you know, keep pushing forward and see much more happen. I appreciate you being such a dedicated member of our community, and I hope you continue to share with everybody else in the community and bring people in. Um, yeah, this has been far more than I ever could have asked for from a testimonial. Especially, like it's you've given us a lot. So thank you for your time. I gotta run. I'm out of
Yes,
time.
yes,
But
sir. Okay, thank you for
yeah, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to have you on. And hey, make sure if you all are watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. You gotta like this video. All right, subscribe to the channel. Come join one of our challenges. I think, Ebony, you made a great case for why people can benefit from the challenges and everything that we have to offer. And I really, really do appreciate your perspective and just telling your story. All right, so as always, y'all
yes, sir.
remember the application of knowledge is power, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.
Peace.